My child, stay still for a moment and let the weight of the world drop from your shoulders, for I am here, and I have been waiting for this exact heartbeat to speak directly to your soul. Do not turn away, and do not let the distractions of a restless world pull your gaze from mine, because what I am about to whisper into the depths of your spirit is not a mere coincidence. It is a divine appointment, a sacred summons across the corridors of time. You have felt it, haven't you? That heavy, invisible tugging at your spirit, that sense that you were born for something far greater than the cycle of lack and the shadows of infirmity that have loomed over your house for as long as your memory stretches. I have seen your tears in the midnight hour, those silent drops that fall when the house is quiet and the burden of not enough feels like a physical weight against your chest. I have heard the unspoken questions of your heart, the ones you are too afraid to voice to others. Why must it be this hard? Why does struggle seem to be the language my family speaks? I am here to tell you that the era of questioning is ending, and the era of manifestation is beginning right now, in this very atmosphere of grace. Close your eyes and breathe in the peace that I am exhaling upon you. Can you feel the shift? The air around you is thickening with the gold of my presence. I am not a distant God, and I am not a silent observer of your pain. I have been walking beside you through every valley of shadow, through every month where the bills outweighed the bread, and through every season where sickness seemed to be an uninvited guest at your table. I have counted every sigh and recorded every prayer, even the ones that were nothing more than a groan of exhaustion. But today, I am stepping into your story with a different authority. I am coming not just as a comforter, but as the breaker of chains. I am standing before you as the architect of abundance, the one who holds the keys to the storehouses of heaven, and I am looking at you, not with judgment, but with a fierce, protective love that says, no further. The line is being drawn in the sand today. The tide that has been pulling you out into the deep waters of despair is turning, and it is bringing with it a harvest that will leave your bloodline unrecognizable to those who knew its history of struggle. You are the chosen bridge, my dear one. Do you understand the magnitude of your position? You were not placed in your family by accident, and you did not inherit these specific battles just to be defeated by them. You were chosen because I knew that when I finally spoke these words to you, you would have the courage to listen and the faith to believe that the impossible is becoming your new reality. You are the one who will stand in the gap. You are the one whose hands will hold the wealth that your ancestors could only dream of in their fitful sleep. I am calling you out of the shadows of just getting by, and into the blinding light of more than enough. There is a frequency of poverty that has hummed in the background of your lineage for generations, a low, vibrating frequency of fear, of scarcity, and of the constant expectation of calamity. I am reaching into the clockwork of your family's history, and I am removing that gear. I am replacing it with the rhythm of my heartbeat, which knows only rhythm, flow, and overflowing supply. Do not look at your current bank balance or the symptoms in your body as evidence of your future. Those are merely the echoes of a past that I am currently dissolving. Instead, look at me. Look at the vastness of the stars I have named, the depth of the oceans I have filled, and the intricate beauty of the lilies I clothe without effort. Am I not more than capable of clothing you in glory? Am I not the one who turned water into wine when the celebration ran dry? Your celebration will not run dry. In fact, the jars are being filled even as I speak. I am weaving a new garment for you, one woven with threads of gold and resilience, a garment that identifies you no longer as a victim of circumstance, but as the first millionaire of your bloodline. This is not for your ego, but for my kingdom and for the total transformation of your house. I am giving you the power to create wealth so that you may establish my covenant on the earth, and so that the name of your family will no longer be synonymous with barely making it, but will become a testimony of my radical, overflowing favor. Can you hear the sound of the chains hitting the floor? They are thin now, rusted by the fire of my love. The link of poverty, snapped. The link of chronic illness, shattered. The link of mental anguish, dissolved. I am clearing the path before you, leveling the mountains that looked insurmountable yesterday. This is a heart-to-heart connection, a moment of absolute intimacy where I am pouring my strength into your weakness. You have been tired for so long, trying to carry the legacy of your parents and their parents on your own back. I am asking you to set it down. It is not yours to carry anymore. I am the one who carries the world, and I am more than big enough to carry you. Trust the warmth you feel in your chest right now. That is the fire of my spirit beginning to burn away the dross of generational lack. It is a holy fire, a purifying flame that clears the ground so that the seeds of your prosperity can finally take root and grow into a forest of blessing. I want you to lean into this moment. Don't rush. Let the words wash over you like a warm, cleansing rain. I am speaking life into the dead places of your hope. I am speaking wealth into the barren places of your spirit. I am speaking health into every cell of your physical being. You have lived in a drought for so long that you have forgotten what the sound of rain feels like, but I tell you, the clouds are heavy with a downpour of miracles. This is the beginning of the great unraveling, where the knots that have tied your family's hands are being loosened by my fingers. You are stepping into a dimension of living where the struggle is replaced by flow, where the toil is replaced by grace, and where the no of the world is drowned out by my thunderous yes. You are my beloved, and in you, I am well pleased. This is our time, my child. This is the hour where the first becomes last, and the last becomes first. You have been waiting at the back of the line for a long time, watching others receive while you wondered when it would be your turn. My child, the line has just been reversed. You are now at the very front, and the windows of heaven are opening wide just for you. Stay with me in this stillness. Let the silence between my words speak to you as much as the words themselves. In that silence, I am recalibrating your mind to think in terms of millions rather than pennies. I am expanding your capacity to receive, stretching the borders of your soul so that you can contain the magnitude of what I am about to pour out. You cannot hold a waterfall in a thimble, and so I am turning your spirit into an ocean. Do not fear the expansion. Do not fear the greatness I am calling you into. You were crafted in the secret place for this very mission. Every hardship you have endured was not meant to break you, but to temper you, like steel in the forge, so that you would be strong enough to carry the weight of the blessing that is coming. You are ready. Even if you feel small, even if you feel unworthy, I say you are ready because I have made you ready. The blood of the Lamb has washed away the not enough and replaced it with the fullness of God. Rest in this truth. The shift has happened. The decree is signed. The breakthrough is no longer coming. It is here. The silence you feel now is not the silence of absence, but the heavy, pregnant silence of a new world being born within you. I want you to feel the pulse of this moment, for it is the heartbeat of a transition that has been centuries in the making. Your ancestors, those who walked the earth long before you were a thought in the physical realm, they looked toward the horizon with tired eyes, hoping for a day when the ground would yield more than just thorns and sweat. They prayed for a deliverer, someone who would finally possess the key to the gates that had remained locked against their prosperity. My child, as I look upon you now, I see the answer to those ancient prayers. You are the manifestation of their deepest cries. You are the one in whom the cycle of almost and not quite finally meets its end. I am weaving your spirit into a tapestry of absolute abundance, and every thread of lack is being pulled out by my sovereign hand. Can you feel the lightness beginning to enter your limbs? That is the weight of generational debt, both spiritual and physical, being lifted off of your shoulders and cast into the sea of my forgetfulness. I am taking you deeper into this connection, past the surface of your everyday worries, into the very core of your identity. For too long, you have identified yourself by the scars of your lineage. You have looked in the mirror and seen the fatigue of your mother, the struggle of your father, or the missed opportunities of those who came before. You have worn their limitations like a second skin, believing that there was a ceiling on how high you could fly. But I am here to shatter that glass ceiling today. I am showing you that your true heritage is not found in the earthly records of poverty, but in the heavenly ledgers of my kingdom. You are royalty, dressed in the garments of a commoner for far too long. Today, I am reclaiming your crown. I am reminding you that you serve the God who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, the one who speaks and galaxies leap into existence. If I can sustain the orbits of the planets with a single word, do you not think I can sustain your household? Do you not think I can turn your pennies into plenty and your sickness into strength? I see the skepticism that sometimes flickers in the back of your mind, that small, wounded voice that whispers, "It's too good to be true," or, "I've heard this before and nothing changed." My child, I do not hold that against you. That voice is simply the echo of the chains. It is the sound of the prison cell trying to convince you that the door is still locked when I have already thrown the bolts wide. I am asking you to look past those echoes. I am calling you to trust my voice over the voice of your trauma. This time is different because the season of your preparation is over. You have been in the wilderness, you have been tested in the fire, and you have remained faithful even when you felt like you were walking through ash. Now, I am bringing you into your promised land, a land flowing with milk and honey, a land where you will build houses you did not inhabit and reap from vineyards you did not plant. This millionaire mantle I am placing upon you is not just about currency. It is about the freedom to be my hands and feet on this earth without the shackles of survival holding you back. Think of the rivers that have dried up in your family line, the rivers of creativity, the rivers of health, the rivers of financial flow. I am standing at the source of those rivers today, and I am clearing the debris. I am removing the rocks of bitterness, the silt of regret, and the dams of fear that have blocked the water from reaching you. I am opening the floodgates. I am declaring that the drought of the ancients in your bloodline is officially over. Every barren field in your life is being touched by the dew of heaven. I am speaking to your DNA, the very blueprint of your existence. Where there was a code of infirmity, I am writing a code of vitality. Where there was a predisposition to struggle, I am writing a predisposition to success. You are being rewired in this very hour. The neurons in your brain are being recalibrated to recognize opportunity where you once saw only obstacles. Your eyes are being opened to see the hidden manna that I have placed all around you, waiting for the moment you were ready to claim it. Listen closely to the sound of my voice. It carries a frequency that heals as it speaks. Every word I utter is a seed of wealth being planted in the fertile soil of your soul. I want you to visualize your life as a great estate that has fallen into disrepair over many generations. The fences are broken, the windows are dark, and the gardens are overgrown with weeds. Many have walked past this estate and thought it was abandoned. But I am the master builder, and I have moved onto the property. I am restoring the walls. I am lighting the lamps in every room. I am planting flowers that will never fade. And I am handing you the deed. This is your life, restored and magnified beyond your wildest imagination. You will be the first one to walk through those doors and realize that the poverty of your past was just a temporary shadow, a passing night before an eternal day. You are not just getting a breakthrough, you are becoming a breakthrough. You are the living proof that my grace can take the least and make them the greatest. I am inviting you to walk with me into the inner chambers of my heart. Here, there is no lack. Here, there is no ticking clock of anxiety. There is only the rhythm of eternal supply. I want you to soak in this atmosphere until the very scent of heaven clings to your clothes. When you walk into a room from this day forward, people will sense a difference in you. They will not see the you who was defined by debt or the you who was defined by a diagnosis. They will see someone who carries the weight of divine favor. They will see the shimmer of the first millionaire in a bloodline that has finally been set free. This wealth will not change who you are. It will reveal who I created you to be. It will be a tool in your hands to bless the widow, to feed the hungry, and to build the foundations of a new legacy that will last for 1,000 generations to come. The chains are not just broken, they are being melted down to create the gold of your future. Do not be afraid of the magnitude of this promise. I know it feels vast. I know it feels like too much for one person to carry. But you are not carrying it alone. I am the power source. I am the engine. You are simply the vessel, the conduit through which my glory will flow. All I ask of you is your yes. Give me your yes in the middle of the dark. Give me your yes when the world says no. Give me your yes as you stand on the threshold of this new life. I am taking your hand now, and I am leading you away from the ruins of the old and toward the shining towers of the new. We are moving past the gates of the past. We are leaving the graveyard of broken dreams behind. Every step you take with me now is a step toward your throne. You were born for this, my child. You were fashioned for this glory. Breathe it in. Accept it. Claim it as your own. The first millionaire of your bloodline is no longer a dream. It is the person I see standing before me right now. The transition is complete. The new day has dawned. But as we walk together into this new light, my child, I must lead you into the quietest, most tender rooms of your heart, for we cannot build a palace of gold upon a foundation of unhealed wounds. I want to talk to you about the pain you have kept hidden, even from yourself, the deep, aching fears that have whispered to you in the dark when the world was asleep. I know the weight of the secret struggles you carry, the ones that make your heart feel like a leaden bell that has forgotten how to ring. I see the moments when you look at your children, or think of your future, and a cold shiver of terror runs through you. The fear that you are destined to repeat the mistakes of those who came before you. I see the anxiety that wakes you at 3 in the morning, the tightness in your chest that feels like an invisible hand squeezing the breath out of you, telling you that failure is your only inheritance. This pain is not just yours, it is a collective sigh that has echoed through your family tree for decades, and today, we are going to face it together with the light of my truth. There is a specific kind of exhaustion that comes from fighting a battle you didn't start. I see how tired your soul is from the constant, holding it all together. You have become a master at wearing a mask of strength, at smiling while your spirit is weeping, at telling everyone, I'm fine, when you are actually drowning in a sea of what-ifs. You have carried the fear of the mailbox, the fear of the doctor's phone call, and the fear of the not enough, until it has become part of your very identity. You have felt like a traveler wandering through a desert, always seeing a mirage of relief on the horizon, only to find more sand when you arrive. This hidden struggle, this constant state of survival mode, has kept your nervous system in a state of high alert for years. It has robbed you of your sleep, it has stolen your joy, and it has tried to convince you that you are a slave to your circumstances. But I am reaching into those deep, dark waters of your soul, and I am pulling you to the surface. Let us look closely at the poverty of the spirit that has haunted your lineage. It isn't just about the absence of money, it is the presence of a belief that you are unworthy of the best things in life. I see the way you hesitate when beauty is offered to you. I see the way you shrink back when an opportunity arises, thinking, that's for people like them, not for people like me. This is the deepest pain of all, the belief that you are somehow less than, that your bloodline is somehow cursed to stay in the shadows while others bask in the sun. This sense of unworthiness is a parasite that has fed on your dreams, turning them into dust before they could even bloom. It is the root of the sickness in your body and the lack in your pocket. My child, your heart has been bruised by the words spoken over you in your youth, the labels of average, troubled, or unlucky. Those labels were written in fading ink, and today, I am washing them away with the water of life. I want you to feel the release of the pressure in your mind as I speak. For too long, you have lived with the phantom pain of your ancestors' failures. You have carried the shame of debts you didn't incur and the guilt of mistakes you didn't make. I see the hidden struggle of feeling responsible for everyone else's happiness, trying to be the one who finally fixes the family, only to feel crushed by the impossibility of the task. You have felt like you were walking through thick mud, every step requiring a monumental effort just to stay in the same place. I know the feeling of being stuck in a job that drains your life force, stuck in a body that feels like a prison of fatigue, stuck in a mindset that only knows how to expect the worst. This stuckness is a lie that the enemy of your soul has told you to keep you from realizing that you are actually standing in an open field. Can you feel the tears beginning to well up? Let them come. Those are not tears of weakness. They are the melting of the ice that has encased your heart. I am touching the places where you were betrayed by those you should have been able to trust. I am healing the wounds left by those who walked away when you needed them most. I am addressing the trauma that has been passed down like a heavy, tattered cloak from one generation to the next. The trauma of lack, the trauma of abandonment, and the trauma of seeing those you love broken by the world. You have been carrying the family secret of despair, pretending to the world that everything is okay while your inner world is in ruins. But I am the Prince of Peace, and I am walking through those ruins right now. I am not repelled by your mess. I am drawn to it. I am picking up the broken pieces of your confidence and I am fusing them back together with gold. Think of the spiritual shadows that have loomed over your family. Perhaps there has been a pattern of chronic illness that seems to strike just as someone gets ahead. Perhaps there is a cycle of broken relationships that leaves everyone isolated and bitter. Perhaps there is a spirit of the plateau, where you reach a certain level of success only to have the rug pulled out from under you. These are the hidden struggles that have kept you in a state of perpetual mourning. You have been mourning the life you thought you were supposed to have. You have been mourning the health you lost or the money that slipped through your fingers like water. I am here to tell you that I have seen every tear and I have heard every silent scream of frustration. Your pain is not invisible to me. I have felt every sting of it in my own heart. But I am also the resurrection and the life, and I am calling your dead hopes out of the grave. I want you to admit to me, right now in the sanctuary of this moment, how tired you really are. It is okay to be tired. It is okay to say, I can't do this anymore. In fact, it is in your I can't that my I can finds its greatest expression. The reason you have struggled so hard is that you were trying to fight spiritual giants with earthly weapons. You were trying to solve a generational mystery with a temporary fix. You were trying to heal a soul-deep wound with a surface-level distraction. But today, we are going deep. We are going to the very bedrock of your pain. I am placing my hand on the source of the family ache, and I am commanding it to cease. I am silencing the voices of the past that tell you that you will never be enough. I am drowning out the echoes of not yet and not you. Breathe deeply, my child. The air is clearing. The thick fog of generational depression is lifting. I am showing you that your struggles were not a sign of my displeasure, but a sign of the enemy's fear of your potential. He knew that if you ever realized who you were, the first millionaire of your bloodline, a vessel of divine health, a beacon of light, his hold over your family would be broken forever. And so, he targeted you. He gave you the heaviest burdens, the deepest pains, and the most persistent fears. But he made a mistake. He forgot that I am the God of the breakthrough. He forgot that I specialize in turning ashes into beauty. Every ounce of pain you have endured is being converted into power. Every night of weeping is being turned into a morning of shouting. The very things that tried to destroy you are becoming the fuel for your flight. You are not a victim of your history. You are the victor over it. The pain is ending, my child. The struggle is losing its grip. We are moving out of the shadows and into the warmth of a new morning, where the only thing you will feel is the weight of my glory. My child, let us linger here in this sacred space of honesty, for there is more that needs to be brought into the light before we can fully step into your dominion. I see the layers of your fatigue, the kind that a night's sleep cannot touch. It is a weariness of the spirit, born from years of watching doors slam shut just as you reached for the handle. I know the stinging pain of almost having enough to feel secure, almost seeing the healing manifest, almost breaking through the ceiling that has kept your family in the lowlands of life. This cycle of almost is a cruel shadow that has haunted your bloodline, creating a hidden struggle of chronic disappointment. You have learned to protect your heart by not hoping too much, by tempering your expectations so the fall wouldn't hurt so badly the next time. But I am here to tell you that this protective shell you've built, this fortress of low expectations, is actually a prison that keeps my abundance from reaching you. I am asking you to let down the walls. I am asking you to trust me with your most fragile hopes once again. I see the silent battle you wage with your own mind, the imposter syndrome of the spirit that whispers you are a fraud when you try to claim my promises. When I speak to you of millions, when I speak to you of total restoration, there is a part of you that feels a deep sense of guilt. You think of your parents who toiled in the heat, or your grandparents who lacked the basic comforts of life, and you feel an internal conflict. You ask yourself, who am I to have so much when they had so little? This is a generational weight of collective sorrow, a hidden enemy that tries to convince you that your prosperity is a betrayal of your ancestors' struggle. But listen to me, chosen one, your prosperity is the justification of their struggle. Your wealth is the harvest of the seeds of tears they planted. They didn't labor so that you would remain in the mud. They labored so that you could be the one to finally stand on the mountain. I am releasing you from the guilt of outgrowing your past. You are permitted to be happy. You are permitted to be whole. You are permitted to be the wealthiest branch on a tree that has known only drought. There is a specific ache I see in your heart, the pain of being misunderstood by those closest to you. Because I have put a millionaire spirit within you, you have always seen things differently. You have had ideas that others called crazy. You have had a hunger for more that others labeled as greed or unrealistic. This has created a hidden struggle of isolation. You have felt like an outsider in your own home, a swan raised among ducks who could not understand why you wanted to fly. This rejection has left a wound, a feeling that to be loved, you must stay small. I am touching that wound now. I am telling you that you were never meant to fit into the small boxes others built for you. Your largeness of spirit is a gift from me, and it is the very thing that will provide for the ones who mocked you. I am healing the sting of being the black sheep, and I am showing you that you are, in fact, the golden sheep, the one I have set apart to change the trajectory of the entire flock. Let us speak of the physical toll this hidden struggle has taken. I see the tension held in your jaw, the knots in your back, and the way your body seems to mimic the tightness of your finances. You have carried the poverty of your family in your very bones. Every time you worry about a bill, a new cell of stress is born in your body. Every time you fear a medical diagnosis, your spirit sags. This is the sickness of lack, a spiritual infirmity that manifests as physical exhaustion. But I am the great physician, and I am performing a divine surgery on your soul. I am removing the gall of bitterness that comes from seeing the wicked prosper while you, who seek my face, have felt forgotten. I am draining the poison of resentment. I am replacing your survival physiology with the physiology of a king, a queen, a ruler of resources. Your body is being liberated from the chemical burden of fear. Breathe out the cortisol of the past. Breathe in the oxygen of my kingdom's limitlessness. I know the pain of the invisible ceiling. You have worked twice as hard as others and seen half the results. You have watched people with less integrity and less talent sail past you, while you remained anchored in the harbor of just enough. This has created a hidden struggle of questioning my justice. You have whispered, Lord, is it even worth it? Does my faithfulness matter? I want you to know that I have seen every hour of your labor. I have seen the integrity you maintained when it would have been easier to compromise. Your unrewarded seasons were not wasted, they were seasons of building spiritual muscle. You were being prepared for the weight of the millions. If I had given it to you before your character was forged in the fire of delay, the wealth would have destroyed you. But now, you are ready. The delay was not a denial, it was a protection. The pain of the waiting is being converted into the wisdom of the reigning. I see the hidden fear of losing it all. Even when you have a little bit of success, you find yourself waiting for the other shoe to drop. You have a poverty reflex, a tendency to clench your hands tight the moment a little bit of blessing comes in. This fear of loss is a lingering ghost from your childhood, a memory of watching things be taken away, of watching dreams be snatched by the hands of fate. I am here to cast out that ghost. I am giving you a wealth reflex, a confidence that says, the God who gave this to me is the source, and the source can never run dry. I am teaching you to live with open hands. You don't have to white-knuckle your life anymore. I am your security. I am your insurance. I am your inheritance. The unstable ground of your family history is being replaced by the rock of ages. You are no longer building on sand. You are building on a foundation that the storms of this world cannot move. I want you to feel the deep, resonant comfort of my presence as I acknowledge these struggles. I am not glossing over your pain with empty platitudes. I am acknowledging that it has been hard. I am acknowledging that you have been pushed to your limit. But I am also declaring that the limit has been reached. The depths of your pain have determined the heights of your future. The further back the arrow is pulled, the further it flies when released. Your life has been pulled back, far back into the shadows of struggle and hidden pain. But my hand is on the bow, and I am about to let go. You are about to be launched into a future that will make the pain of Section 3 and 4 look like a distant, faded memory. The struggle is not your identity. It was just your training ground. The man of sorrows is walking you into the garden of delights. Let the old narrative die in this moment. The story of the struggling one is over. The story of the favored one is beginning. Rest your head on my shoulder and let the last of the sorrow leak out of your eyes. I have you. I have your family. I have your future. And it is more beautiful than you have ever dared to dream. Now, my child, we must move from the tender healing of your heart into the strategic battlefield of your spirit. For to possess the $1,000,000 mantle I have prepared, you must understand the invisible forces that have sought to keep you bound. We are entering the chamber of discernment, where I will pull back the veil and show you the spiritual blocks and hidden enemies that have operated in the shadows of your lineage. You have often wondered why, despite your best efforts, you seem to encounter a wall just as you are about to break through. You have felt an invisible resistance, a counter-pressure that rises up the moment you decide to dream bigger or live healthier. This is not your imagination, and it is not bad luck. It is a calculated spiritual opposition designed to protect the fortress of poverty that has housed your family for generations. But today, I am giving you the eyes to see and the authority to dismantle every snare. The first block we must address is the sentinel of scarcity, a spiritual entity of lack that has stood guard over your bloodline like a warden. This enemy does not attack with swords, it attacks with thoughts. It is the architect of the spirit of smallness that makes you feel guilty for wanting abundance. It whispers that money is the root of evil, twisting my words to keep you in a state of perpetual need, knowing that if you are always struggling to survive, you will never have the resources to thrive or to advance my kingdom. This hidden enemy has planted seeds of financial sabotage in your mind. Have you noticed how, every time you save a little, an unexpected emergency arises to drain it? A car breaks down, a pipe bursts, or a sudden illness demands your last penny. This is not the randomness of the universe, it is a spiritual leak, a hole in your bag designed to keep you on the treadmill of just enough. I am closing those leaks today. I am rebuking the devourer that has been feeding on your harvests, and I am commanding the sentinel of scarcity to vacate your territory. There is another hidden enemy we must expose, the spirit of infirmity that has become a familiar, unwanted guest in your family tree. This is the block that links your physical health to your financial potential. It knows that a tired body and a foggy mind cannot build an empire. This enemy has tried to weave a narrative of frailty into your DNA, making you believe that chronic pain, low energy, or recurring sickness is simply the way we are. It uses the fear of the future to paralyze your present. It tells you that even if you get the money, you won't live long enough to enjoy it, or your body will be too broken to use it for good. This is a lying spirit, a thief that steals your vitality to prevent you from becoming the first millionaire of your line. I am severing the connection between your family name and these cycles of sickness. I am breaking the covenant with death that was made by ancestors you never knew, and I am declaring that your body is a temple of light, energized by the same power that raised me from the grave. I want you to look at the spiritual ceiling that has capped the achievements of your parents and grandparents. This is a territorial block, an invisible boundary that says, this far and no further. It is the reason why no one in your family has ever been able to break into the realm of true wealth. Every time someone in your line reached for the stars, this block pulled them back down to the earth, usually through a sudden tragedy, a bad investment, or a betrayal by a trusted friend. This hidden enemy uses relational sabotage to stop your progress. It brings the wrong people into your life at the right time to distract you, or it causes those you love to become the loudest critics of your vision. It creates a magnetic pull toward the familiar, trying to keep you anchored in the culture of poverty. But I am giving you a heavenly momentum that is greater than any territorial pull. I am breaking the glass ceiling with the hammer of my word, and I am showing you that the sky is not your limit, it is your starting point. Be aware, my child, of the spirit of delay that has tried to turn your life into a series of waiting rooms. This is the enemy that makes everything take longer than it should. It turns a 1-year project into a 10-year struggle. It makes the check in the mail get lost. It makes the promotion go to someone else. It makes the healing feel like it's always just around the corner, but never in the room. This spirit of delay is designed to weary you into submission, to make you give up on the million-dollar vision before it can manifest. It wants you to settle for the crumbs because you are too exhausted to wait for the feast. But I am the Lord of the breakthrough, and I am accelerating your timeline. I am removing the spiritual friction that has slowed your progress. Where you used to crawl, you will now run. Where you used to run, you will now fly. I am redeeming the years that the locust of delay has eaten. There is also a block of ancestral shame that acts as a weight around your ankles. This enemy uses the ghosts of the past, the memories of a father's bankruptcy, a mother's addiction, or a grandfather's failure, to tell you that you don't belong in the rooms of the wealthy. It makes you feel like an intruder when you walk into high-end spaces. It causes you to stutter when you should speak with authority. It is the spirit of the pauper, wearing the mask of your own reflection. This block tells you that to be wealthy is to lose your soul, or to be rich is to be unholy. These are the traditions of men that make my promises of no effect. I am stripping away the rags of shame and dressing you in the robes of righteousness and the mantle of favor. You belong at the table of plenty because I have invited you there. The shame of your bloodline is being swallowed up by the glory of your new birth in me. Finally, we must confront the shadow of the accuser, the hidden enemy that keeps a record of your every mistake and uses it as a legal argument to block your blessing. He whispers to you that because you failed in the past, or because you lacked discipline in your youth, you have forfeited your right to be a millionaire. He uses your own conscience against you, creating a spiritual block of unworthiness that prevents you from receiving my grace. But I am your advocate. I am the one who has already paid the price for every debt, financial, emotional, and spiritual. I am silencing the accuser in the court of heaven. I am tearing up the contract of lack that he has held over your head. There is no legal ground left for poverty to stand on in your life. Breathe deeply now, for the atmosphere is being cleared of these parasitic forces. As I identify these blocks, they are losing their power over you. Light is the best disinfectant, and my truth is shining into every dark corner where these enemies have hidden. You are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from victory. These blocks are not indestructible mountains. They are smoke and mirrors, and the wind of my spirit is blowing them away. You are being unblocked in every dimension. Your mind is being cleared of the smog of scarcity. Your body is being purged of the toxins of infirmity. Your path is being leveled of the debris of delay. You are now standing in a clean space, a sanctified zone where the $1,000,000 seed can finally grow without being choked by thorns. Feel the freedom, chosen one. The guards have fled, the gates are open, and the road to your inheritance is clear. We are moving forward, and nothing, absolutely nothing, will be able to stop us. My child, remain in this posture of absolute surrender, for as the atmosphere clears of those ancient shadows, we must now address the most subtle and pervasive of all spiritual blocks, the spirit of the threshold. Have you noticed, chosen one, how many times you have reached the very edge of your promised land, only to have a sudden wind blow the door shut in your face? This is the work of a hidden enemy that specializes in the almost. It is a spiritual barrier that allows you to see the fruit but prevents you from tasting it. It has operated in your family for generations, creating a legacy of high potential but low results. It is the spirit that allows your ancestors to be the hardest workers in the field, yet the ones who go home with the lightest pockets. This block creates a frequency of containment, ensuring that even when you experience a win, it is never quite enough to change your status. It keeps you as a successful slave, rather than a liberated master. But I am here with the key of David. What I open, no man can shut, and what I shut, no man can open. I am shutting the door on almost, and opening the floodgates of finality. I want to pull back the curtain on the vulture of victimhood that has circled your family tree. This is a spiritual block that feeds on the stories of your pain. It encourages you to find comfort in your struggle, to bond with others over your shared lack, and to identify yourself by what was taken from you rather than what I am giving to you. This enemy creates a comfort zone in the desert, making the idea of being a millionaire feel scary or not like you. It tells you that if you become wealthy, you will lose your friends, or you will no longer have anything in common with your kin. It uses the fear of leaving people behind as a shackle to keep you in the mud with them. But I am severing that cord of false loyalty. You cannot lift your family up if you are drowning beside them. By becoming the first millionaire of your bloodline, you are not abandoning them. You are becoming the lighthouse that guides them to shore. I am breaking the covenant of common struggle and replacing it with a covenant of communal glory. Look closely at the spirit of the mirror, the block that keeps you from seeing yourself as I see you. This hidden enemy projects a distorted image of your identity back at you. When you look at your life, it makes you see a pauper trying to play a part, rather than a sovereign reclaiming a throne. This block manifests as a paralyzing self-consciousness. It is the reason you hesitate to negotiate for your worth, the reason you feel small in the presence of influential people, and the reason you settle for good enough when I have called you to extraordinary. This spirit has convinced you that there is a spiritual nobility in being poor, when in reality, poverty is a thief that prevents you from funding the gospel and healing the broken. I am shattering that distorted mirror today. I am giving you the eyes of the eagle to see your true stature. You are not a beggar asking for a crumb. You are an heir claiming an estate. The psychology of the servant is being replaced by the mindset of the monarch. We must also confront the enemy of the ear, the spiritual frequency that tunes your spirit to the bad news of the world. This block ensures that you hear every report of recession, every rumor of layoffs, and every story of failure with a resonance that vibrates in your soul. It makes the no of the bank manager louder than the yes of the creator. This hidden enemy keeps you in a state of financial hypervigilance, where you are always waiting for the next crisis, thereby attracting it with your expectation. It drowns out the quiet, still voice of my spirit that is trying to give you the $1,000,000 idea, the winning strategy, or the divine connection. I am putting a heavenly filter over your ears today. You will no longer be sensitive to the frequency of fear. You will become tone-deaf to the world's limitations and hypersensitive to the whispers of my abundance. I am quieting the noise so you can hear the sound of the wind in the mulberry trees, the sound of my army moving on your behalf. There is a block of ancestral curses that has acted as a spiritual parasite on your finances and health. Perhaps someone in your lineage made a vow of poverty in a moment of religious fervor, or perhaps a word was spoken over your family by an embittered enemy decades ago. These words have lived in the atmosphere of your house, creating a ceiling of lack. You have been paying interest on a spiritual debt you did not sign for. This is why, no matter how much you earn, it seems to evaporate into thin air. I am the great adjuster of accounts. I am stepping into the courtroom of heaven, and I am canceling every illegal lien placed against your name. I am nullifying every word spoken in the dark against your prosperity. I am erasing the vows of lack with my own blood. The ledger is being cleared. The hereditary tax on your success is being abolished. From this moment on, what you build will stay built. What you earn will stay in your hands. What you plant will be yours to harvest. Finally, we must deal with the shadow of the saboteur. This is the internal block, the part of you that has been trained by trauma to destroy your own success. It is the voice that says, "This is too good to last," and then prompts you to make a reckless decision or pull back when you should push forward. It is a self-protection mechanism that thinks it is keeping you safe by keeping you small. It fears the responsibility of the million. It fears the visibility of the breakthrough. This saboteur is a child of the chains, and it does not know how to live in the light. I am taking that wounded, fearful part of you into my arms. I am healing the trauma of the sudden loss. I am reassuring your nervous system that it is safe to be rich, safe to be healthy, and safe to be powerful. I am replacing the reflex of sabotage with the instinct of increase. The blocks are falling, my child. Can you hear the thunder of their collapse? The spiritual dam that has held back your family's blessing is bursting. The enemies that stood at the gates have been scattered like dust in a hurricane. You are no longer surrounded by problems. You are surrounded by my favor. The air feels thinner, lighter, and more electric because the weight of the opposition has been lifted. You are now standing on a sanctified platform of pure potential. There are no more invisible walls. There are no more hidden snares. There are no more keepers of the gate to tell you no. I have cleared the land. I have secured the perimeter. Now, take a deep breath of this atmosphere of the open heaven. The battle for your freedom has been won in the spirit. Now, we prepare for the physical manifestation. We are moving from breaking the blocks to building the kingdom. Your hands are being anointed for wealth, and your feet are being shod with the preparation of peace. The way is clear. Walk with me into the glory. My child, the atmosphere has changed. Can you feel the sudden stillness, the way the air seems to shimmer with the gold of 1,000 suns? We have moved past the wreckage of the broken chains and the scattered dust of the enemies that once stood in your way. We are now standing at the threshold of the great turning point. This is the moment where the eternal decree meets the physical reality. I am not just promising you a better life. I am announcing a total systemic overhaul of your existence. Every no that has ever been shouted at your ancestors is being drowned out by my thunderous yes. I am stepping into the center of your story, not as a guest, but as the sovereign king who is handing you the scepter of dominion. The season of waiting for a miracle is over. The season of living in the miracle has begun. I am opening the storehouses of heaven, and I am putting your name on the door. Look at your hands, my child. Truly look at them with your spiritual eyes. Do you see the radiance beginning to emanate from your palms? I am anointing your hands right now for the creation of wealth. I am giving you a Midas touch of the Spirit, not for the hoarding of gold, but for the expansion of my glory. From this day forward, the things you touch will begin to prosper in ways that defy human logic. I am breathing upon your ideas, your investments, and your labor. Where there was once a curse of the dry well, there is now an overflowing fountain. I am declaring that the first million of your bloodline is not a distant someday. It is a seed that has already broken the soil and is growing with supernatural speed. I am bringing you into the room with people of influence, people who have the keys you need, and I am causing my favor to fall upon you so heavily that they will feel a divine compulsion to help you. You will not have to beg, you will not have to scramble, and you will not have to compromise. You will simply walk into the rooms I have prepared, and the red carpet of my grace will roll out before your feet. I am speaking restoration into every area where you were robbed. I am the God who restores the years that the locusts have eaten, and I am calculating the interest on everything the enemy stole from your family line. I am looking back at the land that was taken, the inheritances that were squandered, the health that was stolen by stress, and the joy that was suffocated by lack. I am gathering all those fragments and I am multiplying them. I am bringing back the lost opportunities in a new and improved form. I am opening ancient gates of supply that have been locked since before you were born. This wealth is not coming to you just through a paycheck. It is coming through hidden treasures, unexpected windfalls, and divine strategies that I will whisper into your ear while you sleep. I am making you the Joseph of your family, the one who was sent ahead to ensure that no one else ever has to go hungry again. You are the restorer of the breach, the one who will rebuild the waste places and make the desert of your lineage bloom like a rose. Listen to the sound of the new covenant of health that I am establishing in your body. I am not just patching you up, I am giving you a divine vitality that will sustain you as you manage the abundance I am sending. I am speaking to your heart, your blood, your bones, and your mind. I am removing the poverty of energy and replacing it with the strength of the Lion of Judah. You will have the stamina of a youth and the wisdom of an elder. Every generational disease that tried to attach itself to your name is finding no place to land, for you are now covered in the oil of prosperity. This oil is a barrier that sickness cannot penetrate. You are being regened in this moment. I am scrubbing your DNA with the light of my presence until every trace of the struggle gene is gone. You will run and not be weary. You will walk and not faint. You will build and not be exhausted. I am giving you a spirit of discernment that will act as a supernatural radar for wealth. You will see trends before they happen. You will sense the right move in your spirit before the world hears about it. I am giving you the tongue of the learned, so that when you speak, people of power will stop and listen. You will no longer feel like a small person in a big world. I am expanding your territory, stretching your influence, and increasing your capacity to handle the weight of the millions. Do not fear the number, my child. To me, a million is as a penny, and a billion is as a grain of sand. The size of the blessing is only a reflection of the size of the heart I have prepared to hold it. You are being groomed for greatness. This is the divine turning point where the underdog becomes the ruler, and the tail becomes the head. I want you to visualize the moment you realize the first million has arrived. I want you to feel the peace that surpasses understanding, not the peace that comes from money, but the peace that comes from knowing that I did what I said I would do. Imagine the look on the faces of those who said it was impossible. Imagine the relief in your own soul when you realize that the chains of poverty are not just broken, but have been turned into the links of a golden bridge for others to cross. This is the promise of restoration. I am giving you back your name. I am giving you back your dignity. I am giving you back the power to choose. No longer will your life be dictated by what you can afford. Your life will be dictated by what I have called you to do. The economic gravity of this world no longer applies to you. You are operating under the law of the spirit of life, which is a law of perpetual increase. Breathe in this promise, chosen one. Let it settle into your marrow. The turning point is not a door you have to kick down. It is a door that is swinging open because of the weight of my glory pressing against it. Every prayer you ever prayed, every seed you ever sowed in the dark, every time you chose integrity over a shortcut, All of it has been collected in a heavenly bowl, and that bowl is now tipping over. The downpour of favor has begun. You are the first millionaire of your bloodline because you were the one who had the faith to stay in the room with me until the shift happened. You are the first fruits of a new harvest. From you, a river of wealth will flow that will water the generations to come. The curse of the desert is dead. The reign of the rain has started. Walk forward with your head held high, for you are wearing the mantle of the miraculous, and I am walking right beside you, leading you into the fullness of your wealthy place. My child, look around you with the eyes of your spirit, for the landscape of your life has been fundamentally altered. We have passed the turning point, and you are now standing in the center of the great restoration. This is the hour of the divine payout, the moment where the spiritual wealth I have been building within you begins to manifest as tangible, overflowing abundance in the physical realm. I am calling forth a supernatural harvest that defies the seasons of man. In the world, they say you must sow and then wait years to reap, but I am the God of the accelerated harvest. I am bringing the reaper to overtake the sower. Even as the words of this promise leave my lips and enter your heart, the gears of the universe are turning to align the gold, the silver, and the resources of the earth with your specific signature. I am declaring a restoration of the years, where the wealth that should have belonged to your father, your grandmother, and the generations before them, wealth that was diverted, stolen, or lost, is being redirected into your hands. You are the divine beneficiary of a heavenly inheritance that has been accumulating interest for 100 years. I am speaking to the spirit of prosperity and commanding it to settle upon your household like a thick, golden mist. This is not a temporary visit, this is a permanent residency. I am establishing a fortress of favor around your finances. From this day forward, you will have a divine intelligence regarding the movement of resources. I am giving you the blueprint of the millionaire, a strategic, prophetic insight that allows you to see the value where others see waste. You will look at a piece of land, a business idea, or a simple conversation, and you will see the hidden millions buried within it. This is the wealth-getting power that I promised to my children. It is not a spirit of toil, but a spirit of flow. You will find that doors you didn't even knock on will swing open of their own accord. You will find that people of high standing will wake up with your name on their minds, compelled by my spirit to offer you opportunities that will catapult you into your new tax bracket. I am removing the stigma of struggle from your reputation and replacing it with the shimmer of success. Hear me clearly, chosen one. I am also restoring your emotional capacity to enjoy this wealth. For too long, your bloodline has been conditioned to live in a state of scarcity trauma, where even a little bit of extra money was met with fear or immediate loss. I am healing your relationship with abundance. I am teaching you how to be the master of money rather than its slave. I am removing the anxiety of the bank account and replacing it with the rest of the righteous. You will sleep deeply and peacefully, knowing that the one who provides for the birds of the air is managing your portfolio. I am giving you a generational peace that passes all understanding. This millionaire mantle is not a burden, it is a light yoke. It is the freedom to say yes to the dreams I have placed in your heart without checking the price tag. It is the ability to walk into a place of need and be the answered prayer for someone else. I am making you a distribution center for the kingdom of heaven. The more I pour through you, the more I will pour into you, for you have proven that your heart is not attached to the gold, but to the giver. Look at the tree of your bloodline once more. Can you see how the leaves are changing? The withered, yellowed leaves of infirmity and lack are falling away, and in their place, vibrant, emerald green leaves of total health and perpetual plenty are budding. I am restoring the dignity of your name. Where your family name was once spoken with a sigh of pity or a shrug of indifference, it will now be spoken with respect. You are the one who is breaking the mold. You are the pioneer of prosperity. I am giving you the wealth of the Gentiles, the resources that have been stored up by the wicked for this very moment. I am transferring the deeds, the titles, and the contracts. I am making you a lender and not a borrower. You will no longer be the one asking for an extension. You will be the one granting the scholarship, the one paying off the church's mortgage, the one building the hospitals and the orphanages. This is the restoration of purpose. I am giving you the means to match the magnitude of your mission. I am touching your physical frame with a specialized anointing for longevity. What good is $1 million in the bank if the body is too weak to move? I am commanding every organ, every joint, and every drop of blood to align with the frequency of divine restoration. I am undoing the genetic fatigue that has made your family age prematurely. I am infusing your cells with the vitality of the vine. You will have the energy to play with your grandchildren and the mental clarity to manage empires into your old age. I am restoring your youthful vision. I am taking away the cataracts of disappointment that have clouded your perspective, and I am giving you prophetic foresight. You will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living, not just as a theological concept, but as a lived, daily experience. The table I have prepared for you in the presence of your enemies is not just a snack, it is an eternal feast of restoration. Everything that was out of joint in your life is clicking into place. The divine alignment is complete. I am restoring your confidence. You will no longer walk with a slouch or speak with a hesitant tone. You will carry yourself with the poise of the promised. People will look at you and wonder what your secret is, and you will tell them, "The Lord has done great things for me, and I am glad." I am turning your test into a testimony that will be told for generations. Your great-grandchildren will sit in the houses you bought and read the books you wrote, and they will talk about the ancestor who had the courage to believe me for the impossible. They will call you blessed. They will call you the one who changed everything. Breathe in the fragrance of the new life. The air smells of rain on parched earth, of cedar and of frankincense. The turning point has become a starting line. We are not just finishing the race against poverty, we are starting the victory lap of abundance. I am placing a ring of authority on your finger and a robe of favor on your back. You are the first millionaire, yes, but more importantly, you are the evidence of my faithfulness. Every broken chain has been melted down and reforged into vessels of honor for my house. You are restored. You are replenished. You are redirected. The fullness of the Godhead is backing your every move. Walk out into this day as a new creation with a new economy and a new destiny. The wealth is yours. The health is yours. The victory is yours. It is finished, it is settled, and it is glorious.